Call this meeting to order at 6:30 even. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray that this meeting is blessed with wisdom, friendship, community spirit, and a feeling that everyone is welcome. Amen. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Johnson,
Present.
Clerk Baraco, here. Treasurer Davis, here. Trustee McKay,
Here.
Trustee Menke,
Here.
Trustee Blanchard,
Here.
Trustee Hoskins, here. 7, we have a quorum.
Good. Well, let me introduce myself to some people and reintroduce myself to others. I'm Randy Johnson, former and present current supervisor. I want to thank the township for everybody who has supported me, and I want to thank the board for them giving me an opportunity to serve our community again, and I won't let you down. And before we start this meeting, I want to read this. I want to read this verbatim because it's important. So let me remind everyone about the rules and the decorum of our meetings that must be followed. During public comments and commentary, all statements and comments shall be directed at the presiding official. Personal attacks, negative comments toward board members and citizens will not be tolerated if directed at anyone except the supervisor or the presiding official. So, moving along, approval of the agenda with additions and subtractions and corrections.
I have one. There is a assessor report in the packet. It says no report, there is a report.
Okay.
I have a couple additions for discussions as well. The first one would be Facebook, and the second one would be payroll, if I could get those for discussion, please. Thank you.
Approval of the consent agenda items. A, minutes of October 14, 25 board meeting. Payment of bills in the amount of $289,125.30. The budget report for 2025, Battle Creek Police and Bedford Township Fire Department reports, building and zoning report, the assessor's report, which she said there was something added to that, which you just heard, and the planning commission liaison report.
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Roll.
Roll call. Trustee Hoskins.
Yeah.
Treasurer Davis. Yeah. Clerk Baraco. Yes. Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
7 yes. Motion carried.
Public comments on agenda items only. Those are the rules that have been plenty supplied out there at the table, and it just is piggybacking off of what I just got through talking about with my supervisor's report. Reports from fire.
What do you want to do, public comment?
Public comment on
Agenda item.
oh, just on the agenda items?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Public comments on it. Is there anybody who wishes to speak on the agenda items? Seeing none. Sorry about that, folks. We'll go to, reports. Police and fire. Police officer LaValle, is LaValle here?
Officer Valley isn't here today, he's on vacation, so I'm filling in. My name is Officer Phillips, for those who don't know me. I'll step up to the front here. This month, we had a total of 364 calls for service. Self-initiated calls to include traffic stops, checking out people on the side of the street, for instance, would be 125 of those calls for service. The other calls for service to include domestics, property damage, crashes, welfare checks, and so on, for a total of 239. Of those, the highest amount of calls were domestic and other person troubles. So someone having an argument in the gas station, for instance, that would cover that. Crashes and welfare checks cover the vast majority of the rest. Watch out for deer. We've been getting a lot more car deer accidents over the last little while. So, I mean, like 6 between 4:30 and 5:30 yesterday morning. So be careful watching out for deer, and that's citywide.
Okay.
Just keep in mind. Watch out for deer.
Thank you.
Don't you have those signs up in the city that say you can't deer crossing?
They don't listen to me.
I know the
Thank
chief, fire chief's not gonna be here. They just, when a few minutes ago, they went out on a call, all the trucks went out and it's an emergency, so we'll have to overlook him. If he gets back before the meeting, I'll give him a chance to report, but I don't think he's gonna be able to do that. So, I see Commissioner Dan is here.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I got a couple things that have been in the blender for the last month or so, last couple months. First of all, as all of you know, and are all suffering right now, the state budget is done, and so everybody pretty much knows what they're getting. Some good, some bad in that. That's for everybody, not just townships, it's counties too. Good news from the county perspective is we did get an increase in road funding of about 35%. I'm getting conflicting stories though, because from our own people, they're telling me that 35% is an increase in Act 51 money, okay, which would directly affect townships. And obviously you guys, and we could increase some projects through that. However, through information provided through the Michigan Association of Counties, I'm being told that actually established a separate pot of money, not an increase to Act 51 money. I still don't know the answer to that. We're still figuring that out, just like everybody else is still figuring out what funds come out of where. So I don't know the answer to that. Still in the works. Many months ago, I told you guys, I was sitting on the dispatch committee, 911 dispatch committee. I told you guys that we were looking at fees on what the townships pay on a per call basis for emergency services. And we have finally now established that committee. Please recognize that it's a revenue neutral committee. We're not looking to lower costs or raise costs. We're looking to keep the costs the same, but we're making it so we're trying to make it so it's more fair. Like right now, when a PI accident happens, you guys get charged for a starter for police, you get charged for a starter for fire, and you get charged a starter for EMS. So you're getting charged 3 times for one call. That's my biggest issue, and that's what I hope to change. So again, it's revenue neutral. Everybody's probably going to pay roughly the same, but my big thing is I want to make it more fair for everybody. Okay, so that you guys aren't being triple charged for one call. And then the last thing is, Bill Woodward and I and Joyce talked a few weeks ago about your tower at Station 1. That tower at Station 1 was installed back in sometime in the 70s, 80s. It was installed under the auspices of AMSA at the time, which is no longer a functioning organization in any way. When Dispatch Authority was created, they assumed the assets and liabilities of all those infrastructure projects. A couple months ago, we got proposals to tear down the towers, both at Station 1 here and also at Sonoma. 2 towers that had been used previously by the old radio system that are no longer used because of the new 800 system. So it is incumbent upon the dispatch to get rid of those towers. And it, of course, is incumbent because you guys want to build, eventually want to build a new fire station out there. The proposal that we got at dispatch for tearing that down was to tear down the tower and remove the buildings, associated buildings, and shut off utilities. And then remove the concrete pad to some distance, unspecified, below ground level and fill it back up with dirt. Our concern was, from a dispatch perspective, that's a big tower. There could be several feet of concrete underneath that. And I put a stop to it because I didn't want you guys being surprised later on down the road when tower's gone, you got grass growing there now, and then all of a sudden you guys build a new station. Oops, there's 6 feet of concrete down there that they didn't get rid of. So with that being said, the original proposal that you guys got from Land Bank to get rid of number 1 fire station did not include removal of that tower. It's an asset of dispatch, so it was dispatch's responsibility. Well, since we put a stop to the demolition of that tower based on new information, I now met with the Land Bank last week, and I understand you guys met with the Land Bank on Monday. She sent me a detailed information on what you guys covered at that time. I'm trying to get the Land Bank to cover the demolition of that tower rather than dispatch covering the demolition of that tower. So if you guys don't want me involved in that process, let me know. I kind of took it upon myself to do that because I don't want you guys being stuck with something down the road that you didn't realize you were getting stuck with. So please let me know if you don't want me involved in that. Otherwise, I'll kind of keep track of what's going on with the Land Bank. And obviously I'm on that dispatch committee also, so I'll keep track from that perspective. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Certainly.
I know there was talk about down at Custer Road at the river there, making a little park there. Is that still in the works? That was something that Steve had brought up.
No idea. I've heard nothing about
Nothing, okay. Okay. I drive by that. Yeah, it'd be nice if it, the way Steve was talking, but we haven't heard nothing, so I just.
that. I have neither.
All right.
Question.
Thank you.
Well, we'll probably, keep leaning on you to stay involved with it for the simple reason, up until now, and in the time I've been here, a month now, they haven't even given us the information that you just gave us saying who even owned that.
Right.
Everybody wanted to take no responsibility for it, so
Right.
apparently you're getting to scratching somebody's skin there, so.
Well, Joyce and I talked about it again with Bill. Research has been done because originally we thought that AMSA actually owned the piece of property that it sits on. That was not the case. Through a lot of research, that was not the case. It is Bedford Township's property.
Okay,
But the tower itself is the responsibility of, or was, AMSA. And again, their assets were assumed by the dispatch authority when they took over for AMSA. So the property part of that has all been taken care of.
Right.
Property is yours.
right.
So now it's just determining who's gonna pay for demolition of that tower.
Thank you very much. Discussion items, and they were just added, 2 of them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Shannon. Payroll first, I guess we could go over that one. In our monthly reports of checks and stuff, everybody is on direct deposit here, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then is it biweekly?
Yes.
Okay, is it possible that we could get that in our pack? Like a
A
copy
payroll
of?
report?
Correct.
Oh, sure. Mhm.
That was it. Thank you on that one.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And did you ask something about Facebook?
I did. So, prior to you coming aboard, we had some issues on Facebook.
Mhm.
So we've had quite a few complaints as far as not keeping everything updated from the website to the Facebook page. Mrs. Artist made that public comment that informed us that a lot of our elderly use that page. It's easier, I guess, for them to navigate Facebook than it is for them to do the website. So what I'm asking is, I know we want to get that out there so the Bedford residents can stay involved. So with you coming aboard, I guess, the event planning commission, zoning, assessors reports, all that stuff going on Facebook as well. who's gonna be taking that?
Me, I was
Well,
gonna,
you are.
I was gonna say that as a part of my comments at the end,
Mhm.
personal privilege, but I'll tell you now. I will be the, administrator for Facebook from now on.
Okay,
And in addition, there was talk about a liaison for the county road commission.
Mhm.
Since that's my background and nobody wanted to go anyway, it'll be me.
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And if you need any help, reach out to us, on updating anything like that. We're always willing to help on that at Facebook as well. Thank you.
All right,
That's it for me there.
all right. Number 11, which is unfinished business. We got A for the River Road project update and, Calhoun County land bank. Well, we just did the land bank, but I will give you guys some information about the River Road, water project, which, that's been completed as far as the installs, except there was one resident who wouldn't come on board with them. Now, the city of Battle Creek and the state will be addressing that fellow. And it really won't pertain to us because, the work that was done was mandated by the state. Battle Creek had to be in compliance. There were some reluctant people that didn't want to be hooked up and what have you, but they found contamination, PFAS, and some wells were good, some weren't. Some of them were dig 200 feet, they were good, but the well right next to them was no good. So that was not in compliance with the state. So they got to one guy, and he has his reasons as to why he doesn't want to do it. But I think in the end, we don't have to worry about it. They'll work it out between the state and the city of Battle Creek. And that came to me by an engineer who's over the project. Any questions about that? Okay, new business. Resolution 11/13/25/31. Resolved by the Board of Trustees in the Charter Township of Bedford to establish a millage for general operating and all properties within the Charter Township of Bedford. In addition, the assessor is to notify the treasurer to levy and spread for general operations. The millage will generate approximately $223,929 for the year of 2026.
I move.
I'll support.
Roll.
Any discussion?
Any
I have a
discussion?
question. We don't have a rate showing here on this one.
Well,
Is this the general operating millage without an increase? It's just the same as last year, this year, or whatever.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that.
So it's just basically a rollover,
Yeah,
basically.
Every
Okay.
year. Yep.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you.
yeah.
Roll call.
Been moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes.
Trustee Hoskins.
Yes.
Supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
Clerk Bronco.
Trustee Hoskins, would you take 32?
Yes. Resolution 11-13-25-32. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to establish a fire department millage 1.9203, which was voted on 8/7/2018 for fire operating on all property within the Charter Township of Bedford. In addition, the assessor is to notify the treasurer to levy and spread fire operations. The millage will generate approximately $506,254.
Motion.
Support.
Any discussion?
Mhm.
It's the same. Okay, it's been moved and supported. Roll call.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes.
Trustee Hoskins.
Yes.
Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Clerk Bronco, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Trustee McKay, would you go with 33?
Sure. Resolution 11-13-25-33. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to establish a special assessment district for police and public safety effective for the 2024 assessment levy. Further, the special assessment district boundaries are to be established for all the lands and premises in the Charter Township of Bedford. In addition, the special assessment is to be established at 4.5 mils, and the assessor is to notify the treasurer to spread and levy over all lands and premises. The 4.5 mils will generate approximately $1,078,798.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Once again, we're keeping the same millage. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Roll?
Trustee Hoskins.
Yes.
Trustee Meinke.
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Trustee Blanchard, 34?
All right, resolution 11/13/25/34. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of Charter Township of Bedford to establish a millage at 0.725 for the special assessment district for streetlights effective for 2025, which will yield $101,000 for streetlight operations and maintenance.
Support.
Second.
Any comment? Discussion?
Same.
Roll, please.
Trustee Meinke.
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Treasurer Davis. Yes. Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard.
Yes.
Trustee Hoskins.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Resolution 11/13/2025-35. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of Charter Township of Bedford to accept quotes from CTI Mechanical Contractors, Inc. for HVAC work on the Bedford Township offices at 115 South Uldrich, Battle Creek, Michigan 49037 in the amount of $7,869, or the Pluin Service Company for $5,368.48. That's for roof repair.
HVAC interiors.
Yeah,
Mhm.
to finish the roof.
Contract from Superior, stated the township was responsible for any extra HVAC costs. When they found the one above this side of the building, it'd be rated into.
When they did our new roof.
Yep.
Okay.
In order for them to finish, and then the pipe needs to be extended to that extension, so that's what.
Now, we had got 2 bids, we didn't get any more, but,
My one question is on Plume, if as I say, the quote include the rental cost to lift the material to the roof. So that's gonna need to be done. I don't see that on CTI. But do they have their own equipment to lift, do you know?
I think so.
But not sure, yeah.
Yeah, one of the quotes was provided to us from Superior because they work with on the line. I believe that was the CTI one, right?
I think CTI is who installed it.
Yeah,
mhm.
so on top of the 7869 for CTI, we possibly might have another
Potentially.
potential. So that could, we don't know the cost of that extra.
Anybody dealt with this other company?
Well, but they're not offering the same amount of service as CTI. So who knows how much it'll cost to get there if you go with them. They are the lower bids, but when you look at the sheet, you'll see that at the bottom they're not offering what
Mhm.
everything needs to be done.
Yeah, and lower bid isn't always better. I'm agreeing with that. I'm just concerned about that rental cost for the lift, but
But it's not mentioned in that we would have to do that separately. It's not mentioned in the bid.
right, so you think
That would be
included it,
additional.
Possibly. Not sure.
I would assume so.
Mhm.
CTI is a pretty large company.
Yeah, they are, yeah. I'm assuming they probably have their own equipment, but okay.
Trustee McKay, go with 36.
Did we
Were we
vote?
vote on that?
Oh, we did?
We voted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We didn't decide on it.
Oh, we didn't like the same company yet. Okay.
If we're more comfortable with CTI, I love CTI.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're just worried about, I would call it the holes in the grid of the other company.
If
Yeah.
you look at it, it's really
Yeah.
shallow, really shallow. And it's going, you know, your logic tells you it's gonna catch up and be,
Mhm.
you know,
Okay.
So can we make a motion to kind of have an open-ended with a 7869, if they don't have their own lift equipment? To maybe include another 1,000 in there, that 500 to 1,000 for that lift equipment if it's necessary, so we don't have to come back? Is that a possibility?
I would think if they bid that
It
to
should
do
be,
the job, they would know what's involved in the
Total
job.
price.
okay.
So that's
We go with it,
my
right?
thought.
I would think unless they call it out in the bid that, you know, barring any additional equipment, that they've got it.
it seems to me they do. And
And they know what they gotta do to do the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah,
so-
so they should have
Yeah.
included
I
it.
think they included it in there.
Okay. Just, yeah.
And that's why I was leaning towards them anyway.
You want us to vote, or you want us to voice vote, or what do you want us to do?
I want us to voice vote.
For the company or for the,
For the company,
For the company?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll make a motion to go with CPI.
support.
Well,
yeah, roll call? That's not
nobody
voice.
else? Nobody?
Okay. Clerk Rocco, yes. Treasurer Davis. Yes. Trustee McKay,
Yes.
trustee Monkey,
Yeah,
trustee Blanchard,
Nay.
Nay?
trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
So 6 yes for
I
CTI.
wanted to do that because it was a bid and I don't want that repercussion that, you know, it wasn't thrown out there. So that's why I did it that way. Okay, we got, 36.
So I believe that we need to go back and vote on accepting the bid from CTI. I thought we were just choosing between. Are we good? Did we
Yeah.
vote for CTI?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, resolution, 36.
You want me to do that one? or-
Yes, yes.
Okay. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township to accept quotes from Gardner Brothers in the amount of $15,000 for restoration of Markham Park, including crushed concrete, asphalt millings, driveway, and ground drainage.
We got discussion?
Motion.
Support.
My discussion, I only seen the one bid. Did we just have Gardner?
So I did get another bid, but it was given to us over the phone. They never emailed anything. That was from Top Grade. It was for 3,000, which at first I was like, wow, that's a great price. Until we found out that's literally just them bringing a dump truck full of gravel and dumping it there. None of the labor.
Yeah.
No,
I have contacted another company.
no
Yeah.
drainage?
No
landscaping,
regrading, nothing.
Mhm.
The other company, I was waiting on for them to submit a bid. I called them again today saying I needed it by tonight and I still haven't gotten anything. So that was precision from Hastings.
And this is funded through the park millage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I put a, like kind of a map there for everyone to look at, with kind of the vision of where we go with our parking requirements. Or double lane, that's how big it would have to be, so making it tiny and then kind of hampering the process. Further expansion, as part of the, resolution to develop that park in May, I figured start with parking, because if we do anything in the back and there's nowhere for them to park, the field is gonna keep getting torn up.
Yeah.
And now I'm working on getting quotes with fencing to A, go around there, and B, to cut off the trails the dirt bikes are using from the power lines to the sand hill. They stop coming in and doing donuts and tearing everything up.
Yeah. So this is the 30,000 that we have left of the 60, correct? That has to be allocated by the end of December?
Yes.
This is part of that. So if this is the 15, what are we looking at the other 15, do you think we'll be using? So we don't lose it. Fencing.
Fencing, one of the things,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And this is for the driveway and the landscaping of it. Okay.
Build a park well from cleaning it not too long ago.
Ready for roll?
I am.
Roll call?
Trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
trustee McKay,
Yes,
supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
Clerk Baraco, yes. Trustee Hoskins.
Yes.
Treasurer Davis. Yes. Trustee Menke.
Yes,
7 yes, motion carried.
Trustee Blanchard, 37?
All right, resolution 11/13/25/37. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to approve the recommendation of the Planning Commission for a special land use amendment for Mansing LLC 21737 Bedford Road, Battle Creek, Michigan 49017. On behalf of owner Heath Tishner for special land use and site plan amendment for property addressed as 21736 Bedford Road, Battle Creek, parcel number 04-015-007-01 and 154 Wells Drive, Battle Creek, parcel number 04/090/102/05, proposed to be combined because the record supports a finding that the standards contained in sections 4.26 and 4.27 of the Township zoning ordinance are satisfied, subject to the conditions of approval attached as authorized by sections 13.03 and 13.04 of the Township zoning ordinance. And I move.
I support.
Roll.
Any discussion?
This one, discussion on it?
No, I'll say the report that was provided by the committee was excellent.
I agree. He's very informative.
Real detailed. Roll.
Trustee McKay,
Yes,
clerk Baraco, yes. Trustee Menke,
yes,
trustee Hoskins.
Yes.
Supervisor Johnson.
Yes.
Trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
treasurer Davis.
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Resolution 11/13/25/38. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to approve the recommendation of the Planning Commission for special land use permit for Jeff Launcher, 2800 Exchange Drive, Columbus, Ohio, 43231, on behalf of Eric Nichols, owner of Casey Retail Company, 1 SC Convenience Boulevard, Acme, Ohio, 521, to operate a Casey's C-store, a vehicle filling station, and special land use and site plan on property addressed as CER Custer Road and M98 3201 Michigan Avenue, Battle Creek, Michigan 49017, parcel number 04-029-006-02 within the township, because the record supports a finding that the standards contained in section 4.48 of the township zoning ordinance are satisfied, subject to the conditions of approval attached as authorized by the sections 13.03 and 13.04 of the township's zoning ordinance.
Motion.
support,
Discussion.
Mhm.
No discussion, I'll ask for a roll.
Trustee Blanchard,
Yes.
clerk Baraco, yes. Supervisor Johnson,
Yes.
treasurer Davis.
Yes.
Trustee McKay,
Yes.
trustee Menke,
Yes.
trustee Hoskins,
Yes.
7 yes, motion carried.
Okay. When we come to public comments, as I stated earlier when the meeting opened, all commentary, whatever, must be directed at the presiding official. And no comments other than that will be tolerated. So whoever the presiding official, whether it be the supervisor or someone in his behalf, all comments directed towards them. Anybody wishing to come up and speak for public comments? Sir, Peter, Mr. Peter Vanville. Yeah, I wanted to see you anyway.
I am Peter Van Gotham. Same one that came here 10 years ago. Mr. Johnson, at that time, was a trustee. He's still former superintendent of Battle Creek Public Works. Made the statement, sewer and water is required where Mr. Van Gotham lives. And he said it at a meeting 1 month later and said it again. As much as I denied it and said I had all the proper instructions. I didn't know it at the time, and I know it now, that Mr. Johnson is a Mason. This will become relevant. We all remember Cookie Kinsel, Cookie Carl, former trustee, or former supervisor, how he came in here and he stated that I come here and I harass staff. Well, remember I harassed staff, repeated it several times. And then finally I got a FOIA request and that he must have forgot about the cameras and the microphones, never presented the supposed victim of harassment. There was nothing on video. There was nothing. He lied. Just bald-faced lie. He's also a Mason. Now, I had a visitor this summer down at the farmer's market, the one I got that cool little plaque for. And was Trustee Hoskins over here. One of the things, and thank you for not coming to my house at 7 o'clock at night, uninvited, as a previous occupant of Mr. Blanchard's seat here did. I appreciate that you came in the daylight. And she said her husband is the president of the Masons, only I don't know which Masons. If it's the Black Masons or the White Masons, if it's the Downtown Masons or the Bedford Masons, I don't know. I don't know much about Masons. They were never on my radar before Carl Kinsel, but they are now. We have now every seat that has had an appointed occupant is occupied by a Mason. A little disproportionate to the population ratio. Well, anyway, during the interview, I noticed that Hoskins was asking people how many years that they lived in Bedford Township, but she's failed to ask that question of me. And I mentioned it to Mr. Sproul when we were out in the foyer, because my answer is a little more difficult to answer. Most people is just a number. Mine's a little different. It depends on how you look at it. And I just want to remind Mr. Sproul that he is, as I am today, the age that he was when he lost the election to Adam Heikola. And to this day, he's the only person in Bedford Township who has ever lost to Adam Heikola. Just thought I would throw that in there as a proud moment. And that was quite a show that you guys presented. Well choreographed. That's all I have to say. Warm them up.
Mr. Peter, there was a time, and I'm bringing it up in full transparency, there was a time when somebody told you that you could not run your market behind the fire department.
That's correct.
And obviously that's in the past. That was bad information. Shouldn't have been done that way, in my opinion, as I'm sitting here today. So I know you're doing good down here, but you're still in Bedford. So if you're still in Bedford, if you would like an opportunity to take it back out there.
I'm not here to ask for favors.
No,
I didn't need a pat. I didn't need a scratch behind the ears.
No.
I didn't need a pat on the head telling me I was a good boy. I never asked for the plaque.
No, the reason I'm saying it is because citizens, since I've been here, have asked, how come
I've got great neighbors, but I've had a trashy board for 10 years now.
Okay, but I'm just laying it out there. If you have thoughts of taking another market out there, those people out there do want it because I've gotten calls.
Oh, I know they do.
Yeah,
It's a very diverse neighborhood.
that's all I got to say on that subject. Anybody else wish to approach comments?
Good evening, Supervisor Johnson, board members,
Good
Greg
evening.
Moore, Consumers Energy, got a kind of a potpourri report for you tonight. First of all, a big thank you and shout out for those who attended and participated in the fire department's big supper here last month. We had a pretty nice turnout and we raised some money and had a lot of fun with the fire departments. It was well run. Kudos to especially Bedford, since it's their normal year event. They were gracious enough to share it with us and with Johnstown. And so both departments did a great job. We had some really good food, gave away some really nice prizes, and raised some money, and had a chance to talk with residents about some questions about the Spring project. So really appreciated. We've also got we've been working for a while trying to get a joint meeting set up between both fire departments on site. So we can kind of run through the safety protocols, get them comfortable with the lay of the land out there, the various entrance points and so forth. So that's going to happen next week. We're going to bring in lunch, and Burns and McDonough is going to host them. And we're going to go through all the safety protocols with the fire department, and I believe with 911, maybe some of the police departments as well. So that will take place next week on the 19th. As far as an update, not a lot has changed out there since last month, but hopefully if you have driven by, you see an awful lot of big tall trees, 12-footers, as I recall, are out there on site. Not many have been planted yet. They're finishing up in Berry County with the thousands they've got there. Most of those are in. And I think they're going to come over either next week or the week after and start planting in Bedford Township. Drilling has not started, or pounding has not started in the township yet. We have drilled a lot of holes and backfilled with sand to get ready. So once that happens, they're finishing up in one last area across in Berry County. And then once that happens, they'll come directly across into Bedford and start with the pile driving. And I'm told, as of, I'm not on site on Tuesday, it should be done by the end of the year, if not before. Always, Mother Nature is always the determiner for that. So that will start taking place next month. The construction will continue throughout the winter, again, depending on weather. So if it's not safe to work, if it's not conducive to work, they'll pull off the job. But this particular contractor says, no, we plan to continue for the rest of the year. Substation work, we've got the 2 control houses for both us and ITC are in. And that's pretty much it for now. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about next month. 2 additional things. We announced yesterday that we have provided a $250,000 grant to the Michigan Food Bank Council because of what happened at the federal level and some of the food issues that were taking place with SNAP and some of the food banks. We're providing additional assistance so we can get home delivered food to residents. So if anybody, you know of anybody that needs that type of assistance, have them reach out to the food bank. And if there's ability to deliver, we will get the food to them. And then lastly, don't have time to go into detail, but our data center tariff was approved last week. That's a very big deal, not only for us, but for all of you as customers to make sure those costs are not passed on to you for these big data centers that are coming. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question. Is it okay if I ask you a question? Come on back up, Mr. So on the Bedford Township side of the project, have you run into anything unexpected that kind of threw you for a loop?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I mean, we got one thing we're always watching is drainage, of course, as is the county, as is the drain commissioner. We're the first to see it, of course. So even though, you know, we're looking at all the different rain events we've had, and any place there's ponding, whether it's in the roadways or whether it's in, you know, the panel areas, we're having them take care of it immediately, even if it's not a huge issue, because we just don't have that mix. But one thing we have seen is the grasses that we planted have come in very nicely. I got some pictures on Tuesday of that, and there's reseeding areas where work is taking place. So we are going to have to bring some additional stone in for some of the roadways. I don't recall if Bedford is part of that, but you know, just to shore them up and make sure with all the traffic that's been out there, because there's dozens of semis coming in a day now. So it's a very, very busy site. And cameras are all in as well. We talked about security issues we've had. So that's all been taken care of with cameras and security.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to come up for public comment?
Who? So why did we do the water project? Was it a requirement by the state of Michigan to complete it? And did they force everyone to connect to it? Because what you just said,
on River Road.
what you just said, I don't want to back and forth right now. What you just said is telling us that you, now the state and and the feds are going to be going after that person that didn't sign up, that did not sign up to the water, that didn't connect. That was some scary language that you just said there. And I would really am curious what you're talking about there, because my understanding was that anyone had a choice to connect or not. What you just said there was not that at all. So I also am curious, who owns the water lines? I'm sorry. Yeah, who owns the water lines? And are they paid for? If they're not getting paid for, who is paying for them? If we do have to pay for them, are we going to get ownership of them back from the city? You guys talked about a bid and decided to go on a higher bid, almost $3,000. $3,000 to y'all doesn't matter. And to the point where you can't even tell us why exactly it was okay to go with that $3,000 higher bid. You spoke in generalities. You said nothing of any detail that would specify anything to the public. Sounds like some of you maybe just know people on CTI and it's just, you know, it's a better company and that's what we did. So that's what we do. That's who gets all the business in the community, right? So that's who you went with. You talked about some things of what the other company may or may not have without you actually having a clue. In really a disgusting fashion, talking about a large business that bid on something. When is the Fall Fest? Is that even happening? Doesn't look like it is anymore. Talked about a FOIA someone did about that they didn't get, but guess what? Who knows if that even existed, because we don't even give FOIA requests that do exist. And we want to block information by charging erroneous amounts. Not only that, but obviously not a big deal that the FOIA coordinator cannot do their job properly. So when they want to charge an erroneous amount, they lose the township $1,200 because they couldn't do their job correctly. But that erroneous amount is not going to get paid by me, because you will all be receiving very soon an appeal letter. And I do not want, and we will not have, Mr. Johnson, a special meeting for the appeal for that. It should be like it should by the law. At the next board meeting, we'll have that appeal. We'll talk about it then. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to speak?
Good evening, Catherine LaValle, 154 East Freedman's Lane. On the agenda tonight for resolution 33, and no one needs to give me an answer right now because of a point of order. When public comments being made, I know this is very hard to respond to a public comment. I'm not expecting an answer to my questions that I have for you in just a second. I'm looking at resolution number 33. Is that a typo? It says a 2024 assessment levy. Also resolution 34, 2025. Is that supposed to read 2026? And finally, yes, I understand what Mr. Heikler is mentioning about resolution 35, because that seems like to be a discussion item before it was actually voted on by the board. And my final point that I'm needing clarification on, if I could find out, I know there's a time limit on Parks and Rec's millage funds coming to the township need to be paid for. What will be the other $15,000 of the Parks and Rec funds going to? Because I couldn't really hear it if that was being discussed earlier. But where will that required $15,000 coming to the township be spent on? My phone number is with Clerk Paraco, and I appreciate a phone call with the answers to my questions. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak in public comment? Okay, we're gonna go into public officials' personal comments. I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna address a little bit to help out since it was said in public. As far as the bids from Plume Company and CTI, it's not a secret. And so you don't have to FOIA it or nothing. Here it is right here. I'll let you get a copy of it and take it with you. And as far as what I explained about River Road, that project on River Road has guidelines that are set by the state of Michigan to the county, to the city. That project, people did have an opportunity to plug in or not plug in. But what they have found since that opportunity, there was situations down there when they first had the opportunity that don't comply with state regulations. They found contamination. They found some tainted wells. And so therefore the state is saying that project down there is not in compliance if you allow people now to have a well that's contaminated. You know, it's just, I don't see any other way to explain it to you that if the well's not is contaminated, you're gonna have to get well water. I mean, public water. And the project is from the city of Battle Creek. It's in our township, but we are not the people doing the infrastructure. And so since they're not in compliance with the state, they have to, in order for those people to have that choice, like there was a lady, she had a well, I think I said, I might be redundant, I think I said that she had a well that was 200 feet, had good fresh water, but the people next to her, they had tainted wells. So I don't know what's scary or what part of that you don't understand. I'd like to, I can talk to you later, explain it better. I wasn't saying we're throwing our hands over. We're not the ones doing the project. So I'll address that. Now, any other trustees or statutory people want to have any comments they want to make?
Well, I'll go because I don't see anybody jumping forward. I appreciate you clearing that up because I asked a question directed toward that. We had voted on a resolution a few months back to hold people accountable to the agreements that they had made to cap off their wells when they hooked up. And I asked at that time if that project had been voluntary or imposed. And the information we had were given at that time was that it was a voluntary process that they signed on to. What I would be curious, and maybe we owe this resident that explanation of when did that change? You know, if information through further testing came forward by the state, who and how were those residents notified? You know, it seems a little heavy-handed to come in after the fact and say that you have to do this. I think that while we don't own the project and we don't have responsibility over the enforcement of the regulation, we do have an obligation to represent that resident. See that they're taken care of.
True. There's a little more to that with that resident and his motives that I would rather discuss.
I don't think that that's necessarily pertinent to my angle of it. Is that, you know, regardless of their motives, and I won't begin to question what those might be, they still live here. We still represent them. So, you know, we should at least make sure that they're heard.
Well, so, yeah, you're right, and so far he's satisfied, I mean, he's getting what he wants, so that's all I can tell you about that.
Okay.
Anybody else?
They did have a choice at the beginning. They signed an intent to,
Yeah, at the beginning, and it changed.
I don't know when it changed, but I know at the beginning it was the intent to connect. And then with that, they would let their well be capped.
Anybody else?
Are we doing village time right now?
Big-
We're doing village time right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you Supervisor Johnson for coming in and taking over on this job. And I had already wrote this down after I had spoken, we had seen the gardener, and just having one bid for the concrete. Is it possible that we can now require 3 bids so that we have a little more number wise to push through, whether it's the lower or we'll have a center one that we can actually have a little more leeway to choose from there. If we can go to 3 bids.
We did call around and Gardner was the only one in top grade. We're the only ones to get back to us.
And my understanding is we have to allocate this money by the end of the year to.
Right. So that's a little pressure to get it taken care of. Yeah, that's all my thing. But if we have those 3 bids, I understand they did it on calling or whatever, but yeah, if we could kind of push to that one, I think would be a huge help for making a decision.
We've been working on that for 2 months, trying to get these bids for 2 months, and we have made phone call after phone call and called them back. And like he said today, he was still calling today and we did not receive those.
So no other company submitted anything? No.
From who I contacted, no. I've got the notes we took while on the phone with Top Grade right here. They just
Yeah.
sent me
I know it's not every time, but if we can try that, go for a goal of 3 bids would be great on these projects.
But Gardner was the only one that met me out on site. I walked him through exactly what I wanted. He went through, he looked at the grade of everything.
With that way of thinking, we have to keep in mind that to require a certain amount of bids should be a guideline, but if you make it a mandatory, you put yourself in a position, what if nobody bids? Then what? I mean, then what?
Yeah, I'm not saying mandatory, but if we just.
I think that's our common practice that we do try for 3.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to comment that I'm excited that the park is getting some attention. And I believe I heard you say that the other funds are going to be used for the fencing for the park. That's where I'm going to use up the rest of the 15,000. Yeah, that park has a lot of potential and I'm very glad to see it. Very glad to see it.
So an update on the cemetery. The columbariums are scheduled to be installed within the next 2 weeks. The custom forms have been filled out, and as soon as I get a call back from Nelson, we'll know the exact date. And then I just want to thank our board for stepping up to help our new supervisor get reacclimated, and really it shows what a strong team we are. So thank you.
Thanks everyone for coming. We got a holiday coming up for our next meeting, so don't eat too much, but see you back in December.
All right, again, thank you everybody for coming. The only reason I'm addressing it is because it was addressed to us. I don't sit in this seat because I'm a Mason. I sit in this seat because I was selected by the board. If anybody ever has questions about it, please feel free to ask. I'll sit down and talk with you anywhere about it. It's not as scary as people want to think it is. That's all I'll say. I don't let it cross over into my work life or other aspects of my life. It is what it is.
I would like to say, I want to thank my deputy treasurer. I want to thank the deputy clerk, and I want everybody to know how hard the four of us have been working continuously on everything over the last 2 months. It has been stressful in here. We have been buried pretty deep. And I just want you guys to know that I see you. I see what you guys have done. I see what you're doing. And maybe others can't see, but nobody else is in here to see what we really have been doing, what we struggle with, and what we carry through on. So I just want to say thank you for all your hard work. Thank you for yours. And Lisa, if you're watching, thank you for yours. And thank you for coming, everyone.
Well, if there's no more comments, we're gonna adjourn at 7:30. And our next meeting is December the 9th, 2025, at 6:30 PM.